Well. Welcome on in. Welcome on in, Buckeye Nation. How you doing today? Whew.
Man,
Am I right?
it's
Survive
yeah,
in
it's
advance.
been a wild weekend of college football. The Buckeyes barely escaped with that win. It's on Happy Valley, number 3 versus 4. A lot on the line. A game to stay alive to end up at the Big Ten championship game. So we'll talk
There's
about
a,
it. We'll see what happens.
there's a lot going on the channel this week. Stay tuned for everything Ohio State, Penn State. The eyes of college football nation are descending on State College this weekend for number 3 Penn State versus number 4 Ohio State. Last time Penn State won this game was 2016 in a wild blocked field goal return for a touchdown, epic fashion. Crazy finish. That game gave me nightmares. But it seems like every big game in this series history takes place in Happy Valley. Well, why might that be? Well, it's because one, Ohio State is elite and ranked high in the top 5 every year, and Penn State isn't. So the fact of the matter is, if Penn State had been elite every year, just like Ohio State would have been, we would have had more than just the 2017 rematch game that was a top 5 showdown in Columbus over the years. Just recapping real things. Of course, we're going to talk Ohio State, Nebraska in this video. We're going to talk Michigan, Michigan State, Penn State, Wisconsin, and then, of course, Texas versus Vanderbilt. Texas survives Vandy, an onside kick away from losing there in Nashville. And it would have been the second SEC loss for the Longhorns, and that would have been detrimental for the season and for the SEC championship hopes for the Longhorns. But plenty to come on the channel for Ohio State, Penn State this week. Stay tuned. We'll be previewing this monstrous matchup in Happy Valley. Rob's going to be there. He's going to be in attendance, giving you coverage live from inside the stadium this weekend. Can't wait for you to be there, man, and see this glorious victory that's coming our Buckeyes' way. How are you feeling post Nebraska? What are your thoughts on that scary game?
My thoughts are, I mean, let's look at this stat right here. 64 rushing yards. The second game in a row where they don't come close to eclipsing 100 rushing yards.
Not even close.
I was seeing Mahalski just getting blown back, not can't even run on that left side. And once again, we have 2 phenomenal backs that were showing out, the first 4 games of the season. Simmons goes down, all of a sudden, they're running around, not knowing what to do with the run game. The run game is falling short. And you can't be a national championship team and just because one player on the line goes down, it's just let's just call this season our run game is doomed. That's what it seems. And another stat that blew me away for this game: 1 for 10 on third down, and that's the lack of being able to sustain the run game and having to rely on your on passing. So, and the time possession, Nebraska had 35 minutes and 7 seconds time possession, and Ohio State had 24 minutes and 53 seconds time possession.
Here's the stat regarding that stat that you just gave. The last time Ohio State ran this few of plays in a game was a 2015 loss to Michigan State, another game at which you were in attendance at, in the Horseshoe.
Don't remind me.
47 plays we ran versus Nebraska because their defense balled out and we were not executing in short yardage situations.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's, again, Mahalski. He got blown at the ball several times, falling down, just looking just stupid.
Lost. He looked lost, right?
Yeah, he definitely looked lost. He got beat off the ball a ton of times. Will Howard I think he got sacked the most times this in the season, this game. But the difference maker was the defense. The defense
Oh yeah.
absolutely showed up at the shoe, ready to go. It was Ohio State's red zone defense versus Nebraska's red zone offense. Nebraska, let's give a scenario. If Nebraska capitalized on at least one of those red zone
Mm-hmm.
appearances, it's a different ball game. We're talking about another Ohio State loss, and that is not good. Ryan Day had 2 weeks to prepare the team, and this is what they delivered. And it's sad. It's nothing to be proud of. It's kind of like you had you spent a lot of time on the defense. That's great. They had 4 sacks this game. They had a game-sealing interception. They brought a lot more pressure. Again, converted those sacks.
Five and a
Tackles
half tackles for loss.
tackles for loss. Cody Simon played a phenomenal game. So did Jordan Hancock, who had the game-sealing interception. But you forgot about your weakest position room on the team, and that is the offensive line. I
I
you know
don't
what
think they forgot
I
about it.
I
I think it's the same as the Michigan quarterback situation.
yeah
They ain't
I
got no one, dog.
I
They ain't got nobody.
I wish Mahalski a speedy recovery. I don't know what his injury is, but they did exactly what I said they needed to do. They have a lot of depth at guard. They moved Donovan Jackson out,
Yeah.
and they put Montgomery in at the guard spot. I hope they keep it there. Do not put Mahalski out on the fields. All right. So
Well,
Will Howard had he had a good game. I was really
hold on, hold
impressed.
on, hold on, hold on. Before we move on to that, let's stay with that point. The left tackle. Are we going to stick with Jackson at left tackle or what?
Sorry about that. I hope they do. Clearly, so they had 2 weeks to get this dude ready. He's a senior. He just doesn't have it. It's
Doesn't
clear
matter.
that it's clear that Ohio State was a dream school for him and not reality. He's not ready for this type of play at all. Do
This is
not put him
frustrating,
back
man.
in. Donovan uh Donovan Jackson,
Mm-hmm.
he's a 5-star. He can go out to that tackle position. That's fine. Montgomery, it seemed like he was doing pretty good. So, but there's one thing that Ryan Day said that just rubbed me just like, what are you
What
what are
do you
you
say?
thinking? He said something along the lines, because he was asked about, do you think you made the right move moving Jackson out to to left tackle and
Mm-hmm.
Montgomery to the guard position? He's like, well, that's just something we did to get by and survive. And you know,
I,
we'll
yeah.
we'll we'll revisit it, and we'll see if it works. And I'm thinking, like, it worked pretty good in the game.
Well,
Clearly,
how long was that a reality, though? Mahalski went down late in the fourth quarter, didn't he?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
remember when he got injured, but it was in the second half.
Yeah, I don't remember, but what I remember is things were somewhat better, a little better when they made that when Jackson went over to the left tackle and Montgomery came in. They weren't getting blown off the ball.
A
They
little
just
more.
It was a little more stable. So
This
clearly Day needs to really look at it and say, hey, we need to we need to practice this more and get these players more reps at this position, so
I
this
think
could be more sustainable moving forward.
this is probably clearly what they were talking about with him when the press conference the Monday after the Oregon loss. Day was asked, "What are you exploring at left tackle?" This is probably the backup option. Was Jackson out to left tackle, Luke Montgomery at left guard? Like you said, there was more stability in the pass pro. We still didn't try to run the ball, so I don't think we have any answers if it's going to work for running the football. My theory of us being screwed in the run game, that is true, and that sucks. It has the chance to derail our season. Without question, it does.
And I said earlier before the season started, Justin Fry could be Ryan Day's downfall, and that's coming to fruition. I mean, one player on your line goes down, and that's it. The running game is doomed with the talent that we have at running back. That's not acceptable. And you know what? Buckeye fans need to wake up because it's not gonna get any better. The
That's the
recruiting
thing, man.
the recruiting classes, the recruiting class of 2025, there are 2 offensive line commits. That's it. And the depth and everything, it's just going to keep getting thinner and thinner. We're not going to be able to.
That's the thing,
we're not going to be able to have these injuries. Afford to have these injuries. So.
Well, that's the thing. Michigan lost Zach Zinner, and they didn't lose a beat. They beat Alabama. They finished the game. The next play was a rushing touchdown for Blake Corum versus Ohio State after Zach Zinner broke his leg. And then they beat Bama, and then they mauled Washington with their offensive line. Ohio State, we talked about it all daggone offseason. This is our weakest position. If we get an injury at this position, we are effed.
Yeah, and
it's coming to fruition, bro.
I'm really weary about Penn State because Abdul Carter.
Yeah.
They're gonna send the house, man. I'm telling you, he could
a brand new O-line, absolutely, bro. They're gonna send heat. A brand new O-line out there, a brand new starter at a new position. Oh, they're gonna send it, and they're gonna send it relentlessly. The thing is, Penn State offense sucks too, outside of their running game. And their run game is traditional Big Ten run game, just like Iowa, just like Michigan. It's between the tackles. We have an elite rush defense. So I'm not worried about Penn State's rushing offense or their passing offense for that matter. I think it's going to be a low scoring game. We're definitely going to break down this game later on, but we got to figure something out, man, because we got big goals this season, and we're gonna let one injury derail us. That's ridiculous, man.
That's
not championship level football team.
Yeah, that's on Ryan Day for keeping Justin Fry around for so long.
Coaches have blind spots, man, and that's a big freaking blind spot for him. Now, I think he is gone at the end of the year because they gave him a 1-year contract. He didn't give him a big fat contract. He said, prove it. Well, he's proven he can't do it. Now, on the positive, defense was freaking phenomenal. A question, this is a little bit staying negative, and I don't want to stay negative. I want to turn this into a positive because the defense was so elite. But why do you think nothing ever clicks at the same time for Ohio State? 2022, best offense in the country, leading the nation in points, touchdowns, yards, defense blows. Now, 2024, 2 years later, defense is elite. We got that fixed, Jim Knowles. Offense sucks. And when I say sucks, I mean top 25, still really good.
I mean, I feel like that's a Ryan Day problem. He's a CEO. He oversees everything. So at the end of the day, he needs to have, everything lined up to where it needs to be in order to be a championship team. But the defense did ball out. They only gave up 273 yards. The rushing yards, 121 rushing yards. That needs to be fixed. Katron Allen and Nick Singleton, no joke.
They're good.
They combined Wisconsin. They combined for, I think, let me look here. They combined for, let me see, 173 yards. 173 yards they combined for.
Wow, really? Okay.
Yeah. But
I'm going to share the screen here for a second. Yeah, so we're looking at some we're looking at some stats here. Defensively, we saw what did I want to share here? We saw Ohio State give up 11 points in the second half, as you see here, and only score 7 points once Mikulski went down.
Yeah, they got their last touchdown the mid fourth quarter.
Mid fourth quarter, after Mikulski was out of the game. What do you think? I guess who was your buck of the week? I guess would you say defensively? Who was your buck of the week? There's a lot of options. It could have been Downs. It could have been JTT, Simon. Who are you picking for your defensive player of the week that stood out and shined for you today or on Saturday?
I'm gonna have to go with.
I'll start. I'll go with Cody Simon. He was elite for me. You're going with Jordan Hancock, the game-sealing pick?
Yeah, I 5 tackles, 1 forced fumble, and one interception that was game sealing. But I thought about Cody Simon too. He had that one big stop at 4th and goal. I mean, if it wasn't for him stuffing it, like he would have been able to reach the ball across the goal line. So
Cody Simon had 8 tackles, 3.5 tackles for loss. He was everywhere. He was disruptive. The Ohioan himself, the senior who started in 2021, was benched the last 2 seasons, and now is starting again, is taking over that position, making it his own, because CJ Hicks refuses to do what it takes, I guess. I'm not sure what's going on with CJ, but I'm really happy with the way Cody Simon and our linebackers are playing in general. Sonny Styles, he's looking better, but he's still some improvement at the position for him. So yeah, Ohio State really they need to continue to play elite defense. They need to continue to stuff the run, especially this upcoming week. Now, we'll talk about this later on all this week, but man, Bo Prabula, Penn State's quarterback, that's who we might be facing. He looks like Trace McSorley 2.0. Not only does he share the same numbers Trace did, he's got the same body type and play style as Trace McSorley. He looks like a scary quarterback. We'll definitely talk about this week, but just give me a quick thought on that real quick.
Yeah, Prabula, he was 11 for 13, 98 yards, and 1 TD for the time that he had. Now, that's not bad. I mean, it's not like they're getting that big of a downgrade. I mean, for the time Aller was in 14 for 18, 148 yards and a touchdown. So a little bit differential. So, I don't expect them to miss a beat. But what I did notice about their offense with the receivers, they don't really have a reliable wide receiver. It seems like the yards are extremely dispersed, 40, 60, 25, another 30. They don't have a dominant wide receiver. And Julian Fleming, he dropped some crucial passes in that Wisconsin game. So.
Yeah, he's not great, man. I don't know what's going on with Julian there. But offensively, before we wrap up Ohio State, Nebraska, of course, a 21-17 victory for Ohio State in the Horseshoe. Who is your offensive buck of the week? Is it Will Howard, Carnell Tate, somebody else?
I would say Carnell Tate, 4 receptions, 102 yards, and 1 touchdown. So,
all right, well, you took mine. I'm going to go with Will Howard because he's really the only other option. Nobody else produced at an elite level on Saturday. Will Howard, 13 of 16 for 2 something, and he did have the one horrible pick. That seems to be a part of his game you just have to accept. Am I right?
I don't know, man. I felt like after I saw them, like, what is he thinking? You're throwing into triple coverage. He clearly didn't see the safety coming in and being able to close that gap that he thought he saw to get a Mecca Ibuka. So,
well, it's not the first time he's made a terrible interception this season. He's thrown a terrible pick. We're like, what are you looking at? What are you seeing there? Clearly, he's not seeing the whole field. I think that's pretty obvious. Here's the thing, man. He takes care of the football, but when he throws interceptions, they are dumbfounding bad ones.
Yeah.
Not like Not like an interception is ever a good thing, but it's like, dude, what are you seeing there?
Yeah, I mean his QBR is still 86.2.
Yeah, I'm not knocking him. He had a game. He was 13-16. He balled out 252 yards, I think. But
I mean his QBR for the season still 86.2, so he's having a he's having a good season.
that was his fourth pick, though, right?
Yeah, it was his fourth, fifth pick. I think it was his fourth.
I think four. I think four as
But
well.
I
So
you know
he's not had a multi-interception game, so that's good.
he um he's really improving on his long ball though. He had a really good long ball to JJ Smith,
I
and
want to critique that throw.
he had a really good long ball to Carnell Tate.
I thought the ball to Carnell Tate was really good. I thought the ball to JJ Smith was pretty inaccurate, and JJ made a great adjustment. Um,
I don't
that's
know.
my assessment of the throw.
I think JJ Smith is that fast.
Yeah, but I'm
I
saying
just
the
think he
ball was
is.
like, okay, so JJ was, let me try and point it out. So JJ was running here, and he had to like move over here to catch the ball. You know what I'm saying? He had to go over like 4 or 5 yards to get to where the ball was going to drop to
I
him.
I don't know. I didn't really see that. I mean,
You
I
have
guess
to watch it again because he was very clear.
I
It
guess
was
you
off. It was way off.
yeah.
But anyway, Ohio State, man, they escaped with a victory. I can't say I'm extremely confident in the game. Let me just kind of describe my emotion. As an Ohio State fan, we always expect to win. Even if things are going poorly and bad, we still expect we're going to turn this around because 98 times out of 100 they do and they win the game. It's just our experience as Ohio State fans. That's how it happens. I'm sorry to other fan bases who don't get to experience that. So I was not panicking until they took the lead. I did not have any sense of dread. I did not have any sense of this could be a loss until they took the lead. Then I said, all right, Will, let's see what you got. And he delivered.
I mean, I'm sorry, but I had a complete different emotion. You know,
Really?
yeah.
How,
af-
why? Why?
After I mean, dude, after 2 weeks of preparation and the frustrating loss to Oregon, I thought they were just going to come out swinging, be able to take care of business, but they
No,
didn't.
me too, but I didn't think we were ever going to lose the game.
They looked lackadaisical. They looked out of place.
Yeah, yeah.
They didn't look like there was a sense of urgency to get things done. And this is I'm sorry, this is again, this is on Ryan Day.
Yeah.
I still think they're gonna get it
Is
done,
it?
but Ryan Day better get it together.
I'll put it like this. Was I frustrated? Yes. Did I think we were going to lose? Absolutely not. Did you ever think we were going to lose at one point in the game? Or
Yeah, I thought I'm like, you know what, this could be a possible loss. Because here's the thing,
okay,
you're letting this team stay in the game, and a team like that, the longer you let them stay in, the more that they think they can win, and it almost happened again, dude. Again,
mm-hmm.
the difference of this game, and Ohio State's really lucky that they won against a team that has the 125th ranked red zone offense. That was the difference. That really was the difference. If one would have went their way, we're talking about a possible Buckeye
Yeah.
loss right
The
now.
goal line
We
stand was
really
the
are.
difference in the football game.
I mean, but no, like they were down in the red zone like 3 or 4 times. They had to settle for field goals. All I'm saying is like
Yeah.
if one of them they had to settle for a field goal, we're talking about a different outcome.
Seems like we had very different viewing experiences. I was never worried until Nebraska took the lead. Not even once. I wasn't worried. Frustrated? Absolutely. Worried? Never. Never until they took the lead. Then I was a little pissed. Then I got a little pissed.
I don't know, man. I think it was a piss poor performance. I
No,
think it was
I'm
a,
saying it was.
but
Well,
here's the
I never
thing.
thought we were going to lose the game
But
ever.
I mean, I thought it was possible when we kept
Not me.
okay. We're keeping them in the game. We're keeping them in the game. We're keeping them in the game. Like I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know any Buckeye fan. I don't know any Buckeye fan who is not pissed off about this performance. It was atrocious. There's no
Like I said,
excuse.
pissed off. Never thought we were going to lose the game. Now, Michigan State, Michigan. The Wolverines. They
So
survive in advance as well. Aiden Childs down to 12-yard line. Late in the fourth quarter to tie the game. You know Michigan State was going to go for two in the win. That's what they were going to do if they had scored a touchdown. But the Wolverines defended the end zone. They protect the home turf in the first matchup, maybe the only matchup between Sharon Moore and Jonathan L. Smith. This was a big victory for Michigan because it's a rivalry game. Now, what does it mean in the long end? It probably means the difference between a bowl game and staying home for bowl season. So in that essence, I guess it's a big win too. Now, in terms of trajectory for the rest of the season, listen, dog. Y'all about to host Oregon and get your booty stomped, okay? It's going to be bad. Like, Oregon is going to take out some. Wow, it's going to be rough. I remember 2007 when Oregon played here. Dennis Dixon, 39-7. It could be that bad or worse. I see that a repeat of that performance happening on Saturday in the Big House.
yeah, let's take a look at the stats real quick to see what we're looking at here. So, in terms of total yards, Michigan State 352 to 265 for Michigan. Passing yards, 189 passing yards to 146. Rushing yards, Michigan got rushed on big time for 163 yards, but they only got 119. First downs, pretty much almost evenly matched, 18-17. Third down attempts, pretty much the same conversion percentage. The difference was turnovers. Michigan State had a turnover. Josiah Stewart got a strip sack before the half. It was 7-7. Michigan was able to go down, kick a field goal. Actually, no, it was 7-6. Went down, kick a field goal, 9-7. Completely different ball game. The crowd is back in it. But at the end of the day, it was just two average teams trying to remain bowl eligible. And you know what? Michigan's coaches, their jobs depended on the outcome of this game. Because if they don't win this game, nobody's staying. Not one. Sharon Moore, Kurt Campbell, Wink Martindale, nobody is staying. But so is it an eye test? Is this game an eye test for Michigan getting things back on track? No, don't mistake that this is an average team with average coaching who beat an average team. It's just that Michigan has more talent on the defensive side of the ball. And Colston Loveland, he got 6 receptions, 67 yards, and 2 touchdowns. All right. He's a first round tight end. Davis Warren played pretty good. 13 for 19, 123 yards, 1 touchdown. But that's against average talent. The Davis Warren we saw at the beginning of the season, he got benched against Texas, threw 2 interceptions, and that was it. Alex Orji, don't count on him throwing. He was their leading rusher, 6 carries, 64 yards, 1 touchdown. But Nathan Carter, he really balled out. 19 for Michigan State, 19 carries,
he's nice.
118 yards, 6.2 per carry, 1 TD. But you know what?
Good tailback.
Michigan lacks in so many categories. They are just so inefficient on the offensive side of the ball that I see this being like the Texas game against Oregon, but maybe worse. There's no way in hell that Dan Lanning is going to have their speed try to go down the middle. No, they're going to get around the edges. They're going to come full force. They are coming to Ann Arbor. They're coming for it all. They're going to give a ass kicking. I don't usually swear on this channel, but I'm fired up right now because you know what? A lot of Michigan fans, some Michigan fans, I was on the Michigan Voice of College Football last night, not like on it talking, but I was looking at the chats and they think that things are back on track. They think they actually have a chance. They don't have a chance. They're lying to themselves. They're still going to be playing musical quarterbacks. You can't say that Davis Warren should be the quarterback and stay here based on beating an average Michigan State team. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Oregon is such a much better football team who absolutely stomped Michigan State. Like enough with the hyperbole. It's coming. You can't avoid it. Don't cancel the game. All right. That's all I got to say.
Don't cancel the game this year, cowards. We're coming for everything just like Oregon is. I see both games being really bad for Michigan. Their defense
I'm talking Oregon's coming. I'm not talking about Ohio State. Oregon's coming to the big house.
I'm talking about Ohio State too. We're coming too, dog. We're coming too for all this smoke. But first, you got to deal with Oregon because that's coming down the tracks first. And Oregon is going to give you all the smoke. It's going to be probably 45-7 if you even get in the end zone. 45-6 maybe is what my prediction will be for that game.
I see a scenario where Dan Lanning gives another one of his talks, like the talk he gave against Colorado. The whole they're just here for clicks. Well, Michigan's they're still cocky. They think they're all tough and sweet because little bro's just doing little bro things. Yeah, I'm talking about Colston Loveland. I feel Dan Lanning's gonna give another speech like, hey. This team still thinks they're tough. This team still thinks that they're on top of the freaking planet. This team still thinks they're elite. Let's go rip out their hearts, step on their jugular, stomp on their field, plant our flag, and kick their ass.
How good do you think the Oregon fan base will feel if they come into the Big Ten the first year they beat both Ohio State and Michigan? Wow. Man. You're feeling pretty good about yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean that would if Oregon comes in here and just completely curb stomps them into non-existence, like back to reality for you. You beat an average Michigan State team. You're not sweet this year. It's not gonna happen. That would be two blowout losses to
at home.
Actual elite teams at home.
It's going to be worse than the Texas game, if you ask me, but we'll find out because maybe they found a little something with the Warren Orgy offense. I don't think they found much, but they found a little something, and that's what I was suggesting they do. I should have said on Team Rivalry. I wrote it down, but I never said it last Monday night. Join us on Team Rivalry's Big Ten Pick'em Showdown tomorrow night at 8:30 or 8 o'clock. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be talking Oregon, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, and all the Big Ten games above. But what do you think about the fight afterwards, man? It seems to happen every year, Michigan State and Michigan.
It was
a little scuffle.
Yeah. I just think it's just what happens in a rivalry game. Emotions are high, tempers are flare. It is what it is.
Is D'Antonio at fault for that? Even though he's not on the program anymore?
How would D'Antonio be at fault for this?
He infected some serious bitterness into this rivalry. He injected some serious bitterness into this rivalry that I think it still exists in the program. That's what I would say about that.
I don't know. I think it got worse because of that. I don't know if you noticed a tunnel brawl
That was
And
post Antonio, but it was still his players.
I mean, come on, man. Like that's under a new coach, dude. We all know what Mel Tucker did. He's probably on his hotline right now. So,
I guess so, man. I guess so.
but here's the thing that's not looking good for Michigan. They were dominated in the time of possession. 37 minutes, Michigan State, 22 minutes for Michigan. That's not going to get it done against Oregon. It's just
No,
not.
they're
They're
not
gonna
gonna be able to do that. First of all,
no. It needs to be other way around. But again, they can't sustain drives, and they're not
no.
going up against an average Michigan State defense.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. Here's my final thought on this game. Michigan State, they lost the game. Congratulations, Michigan. You defended your home turf. If this game was in East Lansing, Michigan State wins this game, in my humble opinion. But it wasn't. It was in Ann Arbor. You get the dub. You get the bragging rights for another year. Hey, man, I'll just say it like this. Michigan State's going in the right direction. You're not. But you held them off for a little bit longer. You held on just enough to get the glory for this one game. I think that's the last time he beat John L. Smith for a while.
And just like they did it because they have more. Michigan, let's be honest, Michigan has more talent.
Yeah.
They have They have 4 first rounders on defense, and a first rounder and a couple late round picks.
Hey,
on offense. So
be thankful you won this game, because if you didn't, all your players were sitting out.
they're lucky. They're lucky that Childs is inexperienced, or else this would have been a different ball game.
It's gonna be a bad day for the be a Wolverine next fall in East Lansing, Michigan. Moving on to the other Big Ten key matchups. Of course, Penn State went to Madtown, Wisconsin. I'm going to jump around sometime. I don't know when I'm going, but I'm freaking going to that game sometime. I've never been. I've been inside the stadium, but it was the off season. I want to go to a real game there, and I want to see Ohio State take out Wisconsin. I want to jump around. Penn State survives it. They not survives it. They win comfortably in the end, and they set up the showdown, a top 5 matchup, not just a top 10 showdown, a top 5, heavyweight bout in their home stadium in Beaver Stadium next weekend. How did Penn State win this game with Drew Allar going out?
They're full. Let's go over the stats, because the stats say that Penn State dominated all aspects of this game. All right.
Yeah.
419 total yards to 219 total yards. Passing yards 246 to 217. Not that big of a difference, but it was a difference because this next stat: 173 rushing yards to 81 rushing yards. Katron Allen, Nick Singleton balled out. 22 first downs to 16 first downs. There wasn't that big of a difference. And actually, yeah, there was. 8 out of 14 third down conversions, 7 out of 18. Wisconsin, they try to do what they could. Luke Fickle gambled. They're at Camp Randall. They got the crowd in it, so why not? They went 2 for 3 on 4th down, so they try to do their thing. Wisconsin's quarterback had an interception that led to a touchdown.
Braden Locke,
So that led to Penn State points. But looking at the time possession here, 34 minutes to 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but Penn State, they started off slow. It's Camp Randall at night. They got the crowd in it. I mean, ask any Buckeye fan. We've actually dropped some at Camp Randall back in the day. I mean, especially the Tressel years. So it's really hard atmosphere, no matter how good Wisconsin is. But Penn State got it done. They dominated at the end.
They did.
Not only the stat sheet, but the score, and they really started to pour it on. And don't be fooled by Drew Allar going down. Prabula, again, 11 out of 13, 98 yards, 1 touchdown. So he can lead this offense as well. So Buckeye fans, I wouldn't be like, oh, they're going to be without Drew Allar. And honestly, I want Penn State at full strength, so
Of
there's
course.
no there's no excuses.
When James Franklin
there's
loses another top 10 game.
there's no excuses on who wins or who loses.
Yeah, exactly.
So
either way, man, Bo Prabula brings a different element to the offense. He's Trace McSorley, like I said earlier. He's good, man. I'll tell you what. He's going to be nice for them or somebody else if he transfers. Somebody's going to watch that tape and reach out to him. I guarantee it's already happened to come play for a different school. So, Bo Prabula, Drew LR, whoever we face, we're facing an elite rushing offense. And Bo Prabula would bring a different type of offensive attack for the Nittany Lions. One that Ohio State could not defend well when Trace McSorley was running it. So, we'll see what happens in that. Illinois shutout at Oregon. They got blasted, man.
yeah,
wow.
We don't need to talk about that game. We don't. Another thing.
Why not? We got to face Oregon most likely again.
Michigan lost to Illinois, so that's another bad omen right there. So.
There you go. No, I'm interested in talking about it because we got to face Oregon again most likely. So,
one game at a time. We need to get past Penn State and then Indiana, then Michigan.
If we get past Penn State, I'm talking about Oregon nonstop because we're playing them again. I'll put it like that, bro.
Kurt Signetti, dude. Kurt Signetti.
Good for him.
He's gonna have them. He's gonna have them ready. But no, dude, Peter. No doubt that I did predict that they need to lose early in order to gain glory. But
hopefully.
One game at a time, man. I mean, we barely got past Nebraska.
I'm not an excuse maker, but if Josh Simmons didn't get injured, we don't lose to Oregon. I'll say that, and I'll put it blindly and bluntly like that. We don't. Now, Texas and Vandy. Vandy beat Bama. Vandy almost beat Texas. Just how good are these Longhorns of the SEC Conference, man? Everybody jumped on their jock after they beat the defending national champion Michigan in an embarrassing fashion in the Big House. Then they come back home and lose to Georgia, a very good Georgia, respectable Georgia team. And then they struggle versus Vandy on the road. Is it just a case of, hey, respect, you survived against a decent to good road team like Ohio State's had to do over the years, or is Texas showing signs of weakness in back-to-back weeks? Or what's Texas's deal, man?
From what I saw, they didn't play a bad game. It's just that Vanderbilt has a lot of heart. They had a lot of heart in that game.
Yeah, they do.
They were let's just say that they were playing catch up the entire game. That's it. Don't be fooled by what happened in the end. They were playing catch up the entire game. That's it. Quinn Ewers had a really good game too. I think he got 3 touchdowns, over 250 yards. So
I didn't keep close tabs on that game. Obviously, I was pretty locked into Michigan State game, so I just kind of saw the end. That's all I really saw. I mean, obviously, I watched on the four split screens, but mainly it was Michigan State for me in my house. So
yeah, I think that game started at 3:30.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a 3:30 game.
Oh yeah, no, that's why I only saw the end because I was at church. Yeah, I was at church for the majority of that game.
But yeah, Vanderbilt was playing catch up all game. They were either down. Okay. They were either down by 2 or more.
Really?
Two at the most. Because what would happen is, okay, they came with 1 score, then Texas scores again. Okay. They're down by 2 scores. Okay, Vanderbilt 1 score. Well, Texas goes up by 2 scores. So
I guess
don't be fooled by the final result. They were always playing catch up with Texas.
Okay, all right, I'll take that advice, but you got to play a full 60 minutes, man. And Vandy was an onside kick away from winning that game. So I will put it like that. But I think I trust your analysis because you got to see most of the game, and of course I did not. But Pavia, man, that dude can ball. If he wasn't a senior, I don't know what year he is, but man, I think he's a senior. But if he was not a senior, he might be fielding some offers for some bigger programs. But Anyway, man, exciting week ahead for us as we get ready to preview the Ohio State Penn State game. We're going to be talking about it all week on the channel. A lot of different videos, previewing it from different angles, past matchups. Obviously, the focus being on this matchup, of course. It's going to be a showdown. James Franklin, you stink in big games. We hope you stink again, and we think you will. At least I do. And it's going to be fun to talk about this game. Rob, I can't believe you're going to this game, man. I'm super jealous.
Dude, I'm just not. It's lower end zone. It's lower end zone. We're 52 rows away from the end zone, dude.
Wow.
And
So you're going to be sitting with Penn State fans then.
It's not like, we're in the middle, like down the upright of the field goal. Like we're more to the left. So
okay. So you're going to be sitting with Penn State fans, is what you're telling me. That's interesting.
That's I guess I don't know. Buckeyes do travel in packs.
The Buckeyes are typically
literally Pennsylvania and Ohio. They're like neighbors, dude.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens in that game. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Go Bucks and God bless. We'll see you on the next one. What's that?
I said OH.
You have a good night, everybody. We will see you